everyone, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com, and today I had a blog request come through. And for those of you that may not be aware, if you go to my blog, you can actually go in and select to have a blog done on a more priority basis. I take all my questions and I put them basically in a draft, and I look at them and I see what I'm drawn to. But occasionally they may have something that they really feel passionate about, or maybe it's something that's of a timely basis, so they can go in and actually request a blog to be done sooner rather than later. So aside from that, that is what this question was about. And to go on to the question itself, it's regarding the Drudge. And the question is, many people have noted that the Drudge Report, a conservative news site aggregator with its extraordinarily large viewership, has changed to a decidedly liberal viewpoint in the last year. This has caused its readership to plummet and would seem to be one of the worst business decisions ever made. One would presume that the powers that were have in some way taken control of the site, as it would be irrational to just stop being one of the most successful sites on the internet. And what do you see? Which, that would be strange. If you had a website that you loved, had a lot of things that were in line with your viewpoint and that type of thing, then all of a sudden you realize it's been redone and is different, has a different energy to it, and consequently it's losing its viewership. What is going on here? So I put a link to the Drudge Report on my blog itself and decided to just kind of sit with this question and see what I got. And when I was doing that, I absolutely do get that the powers that were infiltrated the Drudge, and I got that this was a site where people would come because they wanted to read about, maybe there's an alternative news story out there that they hadn't heard about, maybe there's suppression of stories out there where they know something's going on but they can't find it anywhere else and mainstream isn't reporting on it, or maybe they just want an alternative perspective. But there's a lot of different reasons people will go to this site. And because of that, in their popularity, I got that the PTW, they didn't want that. They did not want the popularity to grow. They didn't want the alternative news out there. They didn't want a resource for people to go to try to find truth. They're slowly trying to make that harder and harder. So when I looked closer to try to get what exactly happened here, I heard the phrase and it was mumbled in my head and I couldn't get a clear phrase, but it was something about like a double opposition. But I understood it to mean that there were people that were part of this website that pretended to be open-minded, alternative, and free-thinking, but in reality their goal was to pass and reinforce agendas that were already in motion. They were doing this through false narratives, incomplete reporting, or even flat-out lies. But nonetheless, they were becoming part of this website in order to do this. And I also see that when things started to go bad on the site, there was some kind of a money exchange going on. As stories would get approved to be published, certain ones that had a more liberal stance or inaccuracies, they would get flagged. There is a checks and balances within this. And that created a difficulty in some of these stories to go through. And so basically at that time, people that were behind the stories gave the Drudge an ultimatum that they could block the stories and they would slowly crumble the website. And there's someone out there that was basically deplatformed, and all of you know who he is. His website, Twitter, Facebook, within what, an hour? Everything was deplatformed. So I feel like there was some kind of a threat like that made, so the Drudge could go through that experience, or they had the option to take a payday and run the stories. I do get that the Drudge did try to resist and keep their integrity, but they could only go so long with the constant interference. And it came to me that either something happened that their site went down, or they had to struggle with their security license or something, but there was some interference and it was just making life really difficult. So they finally gave in, and now there's this new forum out there. And I was left with the final thought of always listen to your intuitive filter. And I know they say that, but it's just so relevant in today's time of misinformation and disinformation and people out there working against getting the truth out there. So always listen to that intuitive filter. And that's really all I have. Again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Thank you. Bye.